Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. I'm Professor Olayinka Akmale. I'm a lecturer in the university. I'm a sociologist. On this channel, I do a number of stuff, but all the stuffs I do, you can cluster them into four. I do videos on sociology, research, relationship, and migration. So this video you are viewing today is within my playlist of research. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to this channel previously, kindly go ahead and click subscribe on your screen right now. Tap subscribe on your screen right now to subscribe to this channel so you might be alerted every time I drop new content. And we are building a family of great researchers on this channel. Families of great people who want to do excellent research. And if you're a sociologist, also good. You want to know about migration, or you want to know about relationship. So we are building a family around all of this. So click subscribe now to join this family of subscribers. And you might be alerted every time I drop new content. So today, the video you are viewing today is on moderating variables. Moderating variables, some people also call them interaction variable. And these variables are very important for us to know in conducting research. In fact, if you conduct research and you are not thinking or managing or controlling for moderating variables, maybe you are not good enough or you don't certainly know sufficiently what you have to know. So interaction variables or moderating variables are, essentially why we are so interested in them is that they influence, sometimes wrongly, the relationship between the dependent variables and the independent variables. I mean, the independent variables and dependent variables. Essentially, you want to know the direction of relationship, the impact, the consequences of the interactions between these two key variables of independent variables and dependent variables. But once you are trying to establish a relationship between the independent variables and the dependent variables, you also have to know that are there things in between that may be affecting the relationship you are seeing or not lack of relationship that you are seeing. So moderating variables we usually consider them as the third variable that affects relationship. We have dependent variable, independent variable, dependent variable. These are two variables, broadly speaking. So we usually consider the moderating variable as the third variable. Sometimes that you are not really, these variables are not your interest. They are not the moderating variables are not the variables of your interest. That's not the reason you are conducting your research. The reason you are conducting your research, you are basically interested in the direction or the relationship between two key variables, the independent variables and the dependent variable. But you must pay attention to the possibility of the third variable, which may not be your interest. Because this third variable, moderating variable, will either weaken or strengthen or change the direction of the relationship you are looking for ultimately. So you have to pay attention to these moderating variables that we broadly call the third variable. So because until we are able to be sure that you have isolated, you have managed, you have attended, you have factored in the possibility of a third variable or third category of variables, then we cannot take your findings to be very seriously. I've been asked previously by where I was facilitating a workshop in a university. And they asked me, is it compulsory that you pay attention or that you explain your moderating variables in all your research? I think so. Because especially if you are doing quantitative analysis or research, even in qualitative research, like I will show you later on, you have to think about the possibility of a moderating variable that is moderating or manipulating the results you are finding. Sometimes you find spurious results after your analysis. Then the next thing to ask is that, why am I getting this spurious result? Then you continue to look for moderating variables. Sometimes you may not even have spurious results. You may even have results that you anticipated based on literature or your a priori knowledge. If you've been able to get your anticipated or expected results, still, you must still probe deeper to be sure that the result you are getting is not being moderated or is not being as a consequence of moderating variable. Because this moderating variable, it can color your findings, it can, becloud your findings, it can confuse your findings and confuse you. And most of the time, if you are doing the correlational analysis or you are looking at the cause and effect analysis, these moderating variables may stand in between. So the cause and effect that you are seeing between your independent variable and the dependent variable may ultimately not be real. So it may be due to a moderating variable. So you are no, so it does not cause an outcome actually. It will not be the main cause of the result or the outcome you are seeing. But it can make you to get incorrect findings and reach incorrect conclusions and also give incorrect recommendation. And this is a big problem in research when this happens. So it does not necessarily cause the outcome that you are seeing, but it can becloud the outcome that you want to get. So advanced analysis is usually needed. So if you run basic analysis or you've run analysis and you are seeing this cause and effect or relationship, you may need to go advanced to control, for the possibility of a moderating variable. But for you to be able to even do this in the first instance, that's why I congratulate you for viewing this video. That means you must be conscious of the possibility of a moderating variable. You must know, you must determine where these moderating variables may be. You must be conscious, just like I'm telling you now, that you must be able to determine where these moderating variables might be. You must be able to determine that, okay, what moderating variable do I need to look for? And this is where expertise comes into it. Which variable do I look for? Where is still likely to be in my data set? And so you must be able to determine where these moderating variables might exist. Let me give you an example. For example, you are conducting a research. So it might be any research. I'm just giving, it can be in public health, can be in marketing, can be in management, can be in sociology, can be in psychology, can be in medicine, can be in law, can be anywhere. Management. So I just want to give these hypothetical examples so you can adapt it to your situation. For example, you want to look at the relationship, or you want to look at the impact or implications of one for the other. You are looking at income and quality of life. Let's take income to be your independent variable and quality of life to be maybe your dependent variable. So you want to see how income, might impact, quality of life of people in a particular population. Or you're looking at salary and performance or productivity, or you're looking at wages or pay and motivation. Then you are looking at, then you must know, okay, these two can impact, can have relationship, can cause the other. Then you have to look at it, for example, in terms of quality of life. A moderating variable might be lifestyle habit of people. Some people, it's not because maybe the income, we've seen rich people who don't live quality life for one or two reasons. So you have to be able to control, maybe for example, lifestyle or the habit of people or the interest of the person in even maintaining the quality of life at all. Or you are looking at pay or salary and or wages and motivation. It's okay, if I increase the salary of this person, he will be more motivated. He will be more motivated. But you might be wrong. Some people, you might increase the salary and the person is still not motivated. Then you look for a moderating variable. Why is this person not motivated? Is it because of religiosity? Or is it because of a leadership style or some other things? So you begin to look for, and you might increase the pay of some people and they get motivated and productivity increases. But depending whether you have positive relationship or negative relationship, you still have to look at possible moderating, variable in this. Then let me give you another example. Then you can look at gender and academic performance. Let's say you are looking at policy in terms of academic performance and some other things. So we want to look at the impact or relationship between gender and academic performance. That maybe males will perform better than females, or females will perform better, depending on the gender categories you are using. So you're looking at gender and academic performance. You can say gender to be the independent variable, and you take academic performance to be the dependent variable, for example. But if you see boys performing better than girls, or you see girls performing better than boys, may not necessarily mean that girls are better or boys are more brilliant. So it may also be as a result of some moderating variables. For example, you might have to look at age. What is the age of the girl compared to the boy? Is age a moderating factor in terms of the performance difference you have seen? You might look at ethnicity. Is it because of their ethnic background that is moderating this relationship you are seeing between gender and academic performance? Is it religiosity? Is it their family size? Is it the economic status? You see, because one is from a very rich family and the other is from a poor family, or family size. Maybe one is from a very large family that doesn't allow him or her to read, while the other one is from a nuclear family, or your family structure, or is it from single parent household? Or you can even look at place of residence. Is one living in hostel and the other is living outside the hostel? So you have to be sure that these two categories of people or categories of gender that you're looking at, that you are able to ensure that they are balanced in terms of their socioeconomic or demographic factors. So you have to avoid moderating variables coloring what you are looking for. So, and when you look at moderating variables, it can be quantitative and it can be qualitative. So whether you are using mixed method approach or qualitative approach or quantitative approach, depending on the approach you are using. So moderating variables at the same time can be qualitative and can be quantitative. I've heard people talk about it's only in quantitative research that you may be looking for moderating variables. I think it's not totally correct. Or that your moderating variables must be quantitative. No. So you have to, the moderating variable can be either qualitative or quantitative. And let me give you an example of a qualitative moderating variable. For example, religion. Except you recode and you categorize to have assign numbers of codes where you want to convert them to either to quantitative variables. But generally speaking, gender is often taken to be qualitative and religion is often taken to be qualitative. Even family size is usually taken to be qualitative, in terms of their types of variable that they are. Whereas in quantitative, we take it for granted, we take it to be of a fact that income, for example, is a quantitative variable because you can have exact numbers in reality without necessarily converting variables from quality to quantity. Then you can look at age also as a quantitative variable. So whether all these can be moderating variables that you look for. So controlling for variables, for moderating variables, must be very important until you reach that level of control that you're able to isolate all possible moderating variables. It may be difficult for you to reach exact conclusion about the impact of your independent variable on your dependent variable, or the relationship between your dependent variable, or independent variable and dependent variable. So moderating variables, be on the lookout anytime you do research. Till I see you in my next video, kindly click subscribe and bye for now.